Cute earrings.
Thanks.
Are they
I forgot.
tomatoes or they?
The other one doesn't have.
Oh.
I think it's orange.
Oh, an orange.
It's an orange.
A persimmon.
A persimmon. Yeah, we don't usually have persimmon in the Philippines. That's why it's not on the top of my mind, but it's probably persimmon. A lot of ingredients here that we don't usually have access to. Yesterday, I had my first encounter with finger lime.
How amazing is it?
It's awesome. I ate it by itself.
It's like caviar.
Yeah.
It just pops. Yeah.
I just snacked on them because I was like, okay, I should remember what this tastes like.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Well, I'm originally from New Zealand, and I don't reckon I moved here 15 years ago, and I don't think that I hadn't really encountered finger lime either.
Really?
So, yeah, maybe they have it now, but I think it's quite an Australian
It's so
thing.
nice. It's like a purple.
There's all kinds of colours, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love
it certainly adds a bit of something to.
Yeah, because you can definitely make like an lemon or anything citrus into, we call it boba, like bubbles. You put it in.
Oh yeah.
Like you can definitely make it artificially, but it's just crazy to me that you can have that naturally, like from a fruit. It's crazy.
Right. Let's start.
Yeah, we can start.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Conversation with a Chef. I'm Jo Rittey, and I love sharing with you the conversations I get to have with talented and passionate chefs. It's the backstory, if you will, to the food they're putting up. I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the unceded land where this conversation takes place, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. Today I'm chatting with someone whose joy is absolutely infectious. Abi Marquez, the Lumpia queen herself. If you've ever fallen down one of her irresistibly fun cooking video rabbit holes, you'll know exactly why she has captured the hearts of millions. She brings a kind of bright, generous energy to the kitchen that makes you feel like you're right there beside her, learning, laughing, and tasting along the way. We sat down in Melbourne ahead of her Melbourne Food and Wine Festival collaboration to talk about everything from her lockdown beginnings to Gordon Ramsay, viral pasta, and, of course, Lumpia. This was a glorious conversation, and I'm so happy to share it with you. Hi, Abi. It's such a privilege to have you on the podcast. Mm-hmm. I've been following you, and congratulations, you're so successful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I can tell, I was going to say, what happened to get you to over 1 million viewers, but actually I already know it's your bubbly personality, and you seem to have so much fun doing what you do.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So this started as an online project over lockdown. Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was during my last semester in college, where during the pandemic we had to do classes at home. So I was staying at home while doing classes, and I could cook for my family. I had access to the kitchen, and I didn't really know what I was planning or what I was doing. I just knew that there was one night we had pasta for dinner instead of rice, because in the Philippines, when you're making pasta, the next thing that somebody says is, whose birthday is it? Because it's not usual for us to have non-rice for our meals. And so I already had a good background on making videos, and I love cooking. So it was just a random idea to, let me just film this pasta recipe. And then I posted that without thinking much of it, and that video went viral. And being the nerd that I am, I said, wow, if I can make this viral, maybe I can do it again. So I totally nerded out, watched the video, and said, okay, this is the light that I did, the hook or the script that I said for the first line. This is like trying to make a formula out of it, and made a couple more videos, and every single video that I put out just went viral. So I kind of found a formula accidentally of what worked. And since then, it has been a no-brainer for me that this is something that I should be doing. It makes me happy, makes other people happy. And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were on a Netflix docuseries
Yeah.
with Gordon Ramsay. What was that like?
So the Gordon Ramsay collab has just been my biggest dream. I would say he's my childhood hero. And we have just always been vocal about wanting to work with him even before he had his restaurant in the Philippines. And so when that moment came, um, we were one of the first who heard about the opportunity, and that Netflix show, we were just informed that they could be filming, and then they asked for consent to appear in them on that show, but we didn't really know if we were gonna appear. They could totally cut us out of it. So to see that they kept the footage, they kept me in there and hearing about what Gordon Ramsay was saying on top of our clips, saying that his role has evolved from just being a great cook to now being a mentor and empowering the next generation. That hits really hard, because for me, um, I'm 25 years old. I started doing content at 22. um, I've always looked for someone to mentor me and just teach me how does this industry go, how can I protect myself, how can I improve on my craft, and how can I have fun with this. And 4 years later, I think who I am now is because of all the supportive chefs, supportive fellow creators who have taught me this is how you should do it. And most especially my management, Nima, shout out to Nima, back in the Philippines. They have guided me all through all of this, and I would say they were really critical to making that Netflix appearance happen.
And I think it's interesting that you've had all that support from chefs, because you didn't really set out to necessarily cook, did you?
Yeah.
It was hospitality management, is that right?
It was hospitality and restaurant management, but definitely the program that I took in college was more about the business. So our subjects were like purchasing, marketing, housekeeping, and then fundamentals of cooking. But I would say my cooking really was something I developed myself by cooking every day, and in all eras of my life. I was food has always just been there.
Yeah. And I watch your videos, and they are so much fun. When I was little, I imagined I wanted to be a food presenter on TV, and I would make things, and I'd be like, and now looking at camera 3.
Oh.
But I've never done it, obviously. And I guess, you really got to think about when you're cooking, you are thinking about people watching you. So there's so much involved with putting together one of those videos. Like, how long would it take you to do one of your cooking videos?
So it definitely takes. So there's 3 stages of doing it: the preparation, the actual filming, and then post production. The filming, it just takes minimum of 3 hours. It really depends on the recipe, because I don't really do a lot of like cheating / switch outs, wherein in TV shows when they film like this is what it looks like after 30 minutes. Yeah. I do that when I have a collaborator. It's very time sensitive, but when I started making content, the food that I made is something that my family is gonna eat for dinner. So it depends on the recipe, but definitely more than 3 hours per recipe. And then the preparation is, I'm not sure how long would it be in hours, but it would definitely be involving researching on the recipe, developing what could make this the best recipe, for example, fried chicken, then making the script, which is, I think, the most difficult thing to do, because on social media, the way we consume content is holding our phones vertically and just swiping up and down, up to the next content. And the trickiest thing to do is, how do you capture that audience in the first 4 seconds and making them stop scrolling and watch this video? And to me, that could easily take an hour just to think of the first frame or the first line. Obviously, right now I'm a little bit faster. But
sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, Hey Siri, get out of our podcast. Definitely faster, but it does take a long time. And then the editing, I remember just sitting down in a dark room editing a 1 minute video for like 12 hours. Yeah, it could be
Wow.
that long, or for
Yeah.
like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it important to you to showcase Filipino food?
Yeah, it's been really important, but I guess it just came naturally to me to use Filipino food as the dishes to feature in my videos, because it's literally the dishes that I know how to cook.
Yeah.
Growing up, we didn't really go out much or travel much. The first time that my family has gone into a plane was like my mother was already in her 40s. I was in my 20s. So in terms of influences on my cooking, the biggest influence would just be my mom, who cooked Filipino food for us 3 times a day. And the other cuisines that I would know how, I would have an idea with, like Japanese, Chinese, they would all be the ones near me or in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So naturally, when I made these food tutorials, the ones that I know how to teach would be lumpia, adobo, bistec, and menudo, things like that.
And how did you get the title Lumpia Queen?
It's so nice. I love being lumpia queen. Lumpia queen came along when I did this really fun experiment. It was after attending a party where I unofficially catered. I like to do a s'more session every after party that I cook for. And I had leftover marshmallows, chocolate, and lumpia wrappers. And I just saw them together in my house. And it was very clear in my head. The question was, what happens if I fry the marshmallows in lumpia wrappers, or it's like spring roll wrappers? And I'm always just curious about food. And to me, it was, regardless if this fails or not, I want people to see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I did that video, and that was the fastest video to go viral. It was like 1 million views in 2 hours.
What?
Yeah, and I just had this crazy feeling in my stomach with it's the same thing that I feel whenever I do something like bold and it succeeds. Like I it kind of hurts in my tummy a little bit. And I was like, okay, this is good. I'm going to do this. And after that video, the comments were like, this failed. Oh, spoiler alert. The frying the marshmallow in lumpia wrappers failed.
Oh.
I opened it up and there's nothing. It's hollow because the air from the marshmallow is gone and the sugar all just melted. So that video failed. But what happened next thing was the most interesting. Everyone just engaged with it. They were like, this failed because you didn't freeze your marshmallow. This failed because you should have doubled your wrapper. And I was like, okay, since you all think you are right, I'm going to try to do all of your suggestions and let's see, just to prove you all wrong.
Yeah.
And so every day that week, I posted the same experiment, frying marshmallow in lumpia wrappers. And even though I was done with the idea, I was like, okay, this is too much marshmallow and lumpia wrappers now. A week later, I just started going back to the usual content that I do. But that series made such an impact that the comments on my the usual dishes would be, what if you wrap that in lumpia wrapper? And so every time that I would film a dish, another food tutorial, I would film another version where I wrap it in lumpia wrapper. And it's just been like a thing with me and my viewers. And so they just called me Lumpia Queen.
I love it because you've created a community of people
Yes,
who adore you and feel like they're part of things.
They're
as well.
part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you made a beef Wellington lumpia for Gordon
for
Ramsay,
Gordon.
and he loved it.
He loved it.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me that he loved it. I mean, coming into that shoot, I was like, this guy will not pretend to like my stuff just for the video, because he's known for being very honest and frank. But I'm really proud, really kilig, we call it, like super happy that even after doing the shoot, he again took another piece of the lumpia. So I really know that he enjoyed that. Super proud of that.
So great. And lumpia, a little bit like, as you say, spring rolls, but the wrapper is different to a spring roll, isn't it? It's made with a different ingredient.
So in the Philippines, it's really a very thin, super, super thin pastry made with flour, salt, and water, sometimes a little bit of oil. But it is different from the usual egg roll wrappers or the thick pastry ones that you would usually find in. I see it in Chinese restaurants and in the U.S., but definitely lumpia stands out because of the wrapper and the filling being majorly meat. When you bite into a Filipino lumpia, you should expect brown, meaty, a little bit of minced carrot, but it's definitely going to be 90% ground pork usually. And that's what we call lumpiang Shanghai. But actually, lumpia, I would say, it's a way to cook something. It's anything wrapped in lumpia wrappers, usually in logs, because we do have different varieties. Like we have lumpiang sariwa or lumpiang toge, which is filled with bean sprouts or any vegetable accessible to us. That's lumpia for anyone who doesn't know.
Good, thank you. And now you're here in Melbourne for the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. How did the collaboration with Chef Morris come about?
So I've known Chef Morris for maybe 1 to 2 years, but this is definitely made possible by my management Nima and Rain Cabral. So in 2024, I was nominated for a James Beard Award for media and went to Chicago and ran into Rain. And Rain has this mission to strengthen the Filipino community in Australia and share Filipino stories. And so she's just out here listening and trying to just check what opportunities do we have. And I've worked with Rain before to do a collaboration with Chef Morris in the Philippines and Chef Michael also, who's here in Melbourne. And when we heard about the Food and Wine Festival, we just shoot our shot and tried to present or pitch this idea of a boodle fight or kamayan style, which means in the Philippines we eat on banana leaves and use our hands to eat. So that's something unique that we have out there, and we did not expect that they would approve this concept, and I'm really so excited. So on the 28th, Chef Morris and I and 9 Yards is gonna bring that culture here, that Filipino culture of banana leaves and eating with your hands. Thanks to Rain and Lima.
I love that. I'm coming next week and I can't wait. I'm very excited. And so what should I expect? So I expect banana leaves and eating with my hands. And lumpia.
And lumpia, definitely. I don't think I'll allow that to happen. You eating in my dining room without lumpia. So you would be expecting, use your hands, eating on banana leaves. It's a multiple course menu with using Filipino dishes as the base, but also incorporating Aussie produce. So in the past few weeks, I've been busy trying to test kitchen kare-kare with wattle seed, or give me a second. I'm trying to remember the longanisa, or I know here in Australia you love brunches. And so longanisa is a sausage that we have in the Philippines. We're trying to come up with what do you call this? What do you call the dish where it's like there's bread, there's poached egg, smoked salmon,
eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict with longanisa and banana ketchup. So you can expect trying flavors that we really have every day in the Philippines, but also a little bit of familiarity with all of these Aussie ingredients like lemon myrtle, wattle seed, all of those.
It's fantastic that you're doing that. It is so great to use products from the land here. I think more chefs need to do that. So for someone to come from overseas and do that, it's fabulous.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we're actually at Buono, which is Chef Morris's restaurant, and I know the food has arrived, so we need to go and have lunch. Thank you so much, Abi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Conversation with a Chef with Abi Marquez, the Lumpia Queen here for the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. You can check out all the goodness on Instagram at Abigail F. Marquez, that's Marquez. And if you'd like to hear more stories from other chefs, I'm also on Instagram at Conversation with a Chef. You can read this chat online at www.conversationwithachef.com, and of course you can follow me on Apple and Spotify podcasts. I would absolutely love it if you told a friend about my chats. It's still the best way to get these delicious stories out into the world. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and bon appetit.